Good morning, Bethel family. Welcome to Convos and Coffee. We are continuing our summer series in the book of James. And so today I'm going to read from James chapter 1, verse 12. So if you have your Bibles, open them up. If not, I'm going to read it. It says, "Blessed are those who persevere under trials, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." So right off the bat, it sounds weird, right? Blessed are those who go through trials. Trials and hard circumstances in life doesn't sound like a blessing, but when we walk them with Jesus, it is a blessing. Trusting God through our trials pushes us towards Christ-like behavior and character, and it builds our perseverance, like this verse says, and it also builds the trust between you and the Lord, myself and the Lord. That choice to keep trusting God in the midst of a trial is a blessing. The end part of that verse, it says those who have stood the test. So those who have walked through their trial, trusted the Lord the very best they can, James says that they will receive the crown of life. And so what does that mean, the crown of life? It sounds kind of like this big, huge, magical thing, but really the crown of life is our blessing. Our blessing when we go through the hard things, when we stand the test and the trial, like the verse in James says, we receive the crown of life. And that really just means that we receive life full, life abundantly. And so here on earth, he wants to give that to us. But most importantly, life abundantly, the crown of life is going to be in eternity. When we move on, when we pass on, we see Jesus face to face, we get the crown of life for standing those trials and going through the difficult things here on earth right now. And if we keep reading on past chapter 12 and we go to verse 18, the verse says that every good and perfect gift comes from the Father above, who does not change like shifting shadows. And so I think today, if you are going through a trial and you're saying, well, Sarah, I don't feel blessed at all. I don't think this is the real blessing. I don't think I'm living a blessed life because my trial is so dire and so hard. I just want to remind you that Jesus is so for you, and he is so with you in your trial, and he sees and he hears everything. But most importantly, I want you to remember that Jesus doesn't change. And his word says that when we go through our trials, he's with us. When we go through them, we get life abundantly and life to the full. And so that's a promise. That's the blessing. So the blessing is that Jesus is with us. But what does it really mean to be blessed? It means that we have life abundantly and life to the full, not just here on earth, but in eternity with Jesus forever. That's what being blessed is. Blessed isn't having money and amazing cars and a huge house and my dream job and all those amazing things. Those are things God gives us and he blesses us with. And those are good. I'm not saying they're bad. But the being blessed, the truest blessing of our life is that we get life abundantly and to the full, not just here on earth, but in eternity forever. And that's what James is reminding us in this chapter. So if you are going through a trial, I want you to take time and read through James this week. I want you to highlight and underline and just be reminded that Jesus is with us in our trial. And when we come out through the end of the trial, and you will, Jesus is ready to give you life and life to the full, not just here and now on earth, but in eternity in heaven with him when we see him face to face. So have an amazing week, Bethel family. We love you. You belong. We will see you Sunday morning.